Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be featuring some battles where I used Ultra League Hitmontop all the way level 50. It cost me like 700,000 dust to power this thing up. I'm teaming up with Walrein and Pidgeot. Overall I went 15 and 10 with this team, so I did climb to 3200s, and I'm somewhere on the leaderboard, probably like top 400s I'm at. So I was pretty happy with my results overall. Hitmontop, not necessarily the greatest Pokemon. Counter obviously really good, but Close Combat and Stone Edge are very awkward to work with. But again, I'm going to show off two sets here, but if you do want to see the rest of my sets, you can check them out on twitch.tv/KingIV. So I'm just going to speed this up a little bit here. And we run into a fantastic lead, Hitmontop into Walrein, and I don't have a clear answer to Cresselia, so I decide to switch out into Pidgeot. I am running this at 2 times speed. One, because I've already recorded this previously and my recording failed, and secondly, these are Ultra League battles are super long. As you can see, really tanky Pokemon with I gotta turn the noise here. Really tanky Pokemon with debuffing moves. Obviously not a great sign. I'm going to be able to survive this Moonblast. I am going to throw this Brave Bird and then switch out into Walrein. I'm not overly concerned about the opposing Walrein. They do attempt to catch. I know they're not going to throw it. Even if they throw, they're like quad debuff, so it wouldn't really do that much damage. I do land the Earthquake, and let the Earthquake go through and farm up a little bit. The Earthquake will not take out the opposing Walrein. I would put it pretty low, but definitely not at that health. And I contemplate whether I should shield or not, and I end up deciding to shield, and I switch out into Hitmontop, getting some energy. They actually come into Mandibuzz as opposed to the Cresselia, mostly because I think they want to avoid the Walrein Mandibuzz matchup. They do have Aerial Ace, so I am going to do 4 and throw. They decide to do one more Snarl before throwing and taking me out, and I decide to let this go. I know they're not at the move. They should be actually 3 Snarls away, but for some reason I decided to throw 3 just in case I miscounted, and I throw and take them out. They do have the Cresselia decide to catch versus the Cresselia. They do have residual energy, and I don't want them to catch, so I decide to farm up extra. And I know the Walrein does not have a move, or does not have the Earthquake, I should say, just yet. So I decided to land the EQ, and I know I'm going to be able to outpace this Cresselia, so I do pick up the first one here. So this team does have a number of weaknesses. One of them is Cresselia. Another one is Trevenant lead. Not Trevenant lead. Jellicent lead, just because Walrein does not like Jellicent very much. So I pick up the win. I'm gonna fast forward to where we're actually queued up, and run into a Steelix lead. This is a very good lead. Typically they have Dragon Tail, Psychic Fang. They come into Primate. Very interesting swap. Primate is not what you typically see. They have the Night Slash. And I'm not too fussed on Switch, to be honest, because since they stayed in versus the Hitmontop, that means I don't have a clear answer to it, and I can handle Steelix with the Walrein. They end up having Surf Edge. I end up going for the Stone Edge to grab a shield, predicting that they are going to shield. And I'm actually in a pretty good spot. Hitmontop does have much better stats than Surf Edge, so you can actually see that I'm going to be able to just strictly counter down this Surf Edge just barely, and I actually survive with 1 HP, and I throw the Close Combat. Honestly, I debated whether I should just switch and save the Close Combat in case I need to reset, or I can force a shield with the Earthquake and then Close Combat them later. But I'm in a very good spot. Throw a good timing, throw the Earthquake. It's not going to be quite enough to take out the very tanky Steelix. And as long as they don't have EQ, I should be good. It ends up being a crunch. Wasn't sure if like straight Psychic Fang or the crunch was a better play for them. Maybe they could have made it to 3 Psychic Fangs, and that probably would have been better, but it's hard to say. They obviously were in a very tough position at that point in time. All right, and then Virizion, tough lead, because very awkwardly, I should say, because um, Pidgeot's very good against the Virizion, so they went to 5. I throw the close combat, so they have the move right now. It's very unlikely that they'll throw right away, so I do 1 and then switch, catch the Leap Blade. I do expect them to have a hard answer to Pidgeot, and they come into Aurorus. I do Feather Dance, and they played this matchup honestly a little bit weird. Obviously, they want to come out with energy in this matchup, and there is a 10-second difference on the switch clock because I did catch the move, and they undercharged the Weather Ball, I believe. I'm not quite sure here. They undercharged in this scenario. I decided to switch out, and they ended up throwing the Meteor Beam at me, which is resisted because I'm a fighting type. And I understand why they threw it because they wanted to burn up the clock. But Weather Ball, Meteor Beam probably does slightly more than the Weather Ball, but it would definitely do more. Like they could farm down with Steelix, right? So Steelix, the Steelix is looks like it's a 100% level 40 Steelix because they are under leveled at 2455 CP, and certainly it's not the situation like where it's like Giratina, it's like 2455, and then if you power it up one more time, I do expect them to throw the Psychic Fang right away, so I catch. And then they make a mistake, in my opinion, here, a little bit too much undercharging. I end up getting to the Brave Bird, which will put them into Icicle Spear range, or almost Icicle Spear range. And I do the 1 and throw. And that actually just works out to the perfect amount of health for me. I end up getting denied, which is very random. I don't know why. I don't want them to catch, so I am waiting for the Powder Snow. I do see the Powder Snow, and I should be able to farm down or take out this Virizion since I do have a shield preserved, and I do end up taking it out, and I get my 100th win there. I'm going to speed up through this, me collecting the dust, and move on to the next game. And we see him on top into Dragonite. This is a very tough lead because I know they have steals in the back. And honestly, I probably won this game because they lagged right here. I did wait for them, and they come into G-Fist. I do throw the Feather Dance, and yeah, I almost certainly won this game because of the lag, but it was still a very good game. I do reach the Feather Dance before the second Feather Dance before they throw the Rock Slide. They already had energy for the Rock Slide, and I'm in an okay spot. I'm gonna bank this move and then switch out into him on top. They decide to throw the EQ. I guess because they were hoping the Dragon Claw would KO, but the EQ. I contemplated throwing the close combat, so they get 1 less Dragon Breath in, but it was too risky that they end up no shielding and then they farm me down and all that stuff, right? Thinking that they're just gonna farm down the. They come into Skuntank. I do throw the Icicle Spear, and I just need to throw the Icicle Spear. I do anticipate that they are going to combo play, or they think that I'm going to combo play. I know I can survive this, and I need to make sure I preserve a shield for the Skuntank because it does have a move. So I do decide to go to the Q. The Weather Ball would not have KO'd, and I do a wing attack there for some reason, but maybe it's better for me because in case this Brave Bird doesn't KO, I don't debuff myself right away, but it's certainly going to KO because it is Shadow Skuntank. And we are going to speed this up here. It does take a little bit of time to get to some energy. So it is Skuntank versus Hitmontop versus Skuntank. It is a favorable matchup for Hitmontop. I don't have a clear answer to Tapu Fini, so I decided to throw the Stone Edge and a shield. Unfortunately, I get debuff, but still 2 EQs is going to be enough to take out the Tapu Fini. They shield. Contemplating shielding. I end up letting it go. They throw the Moonblast. And I'm going to throw the EQ, because if they catch on Skuntank, that's totally fine. And then I decide to switch out. Maybe not my best play, because I could have switched and close combated them. Because they did have the move. I end up no shielding the first one, because I know they have a ton of energy. And I'm going to farm up a little bit, and then throw the Feather Dance. And then, lo and behold, it is good friend Trevenant. And I am going to throw the Brave Bird, and this is going to one-shot the Trevenant. Okay, we're going to go into this next game. Him on top into Dragonite again. A very tough lead, just because the steals are very awkward to... I know there's steals in the back, because they are weak to Charm. I know people don't like when I reveal the results ahead of time, but in my opinion, I misplayed the end game. It would have been a very difficult end game, but it was a winnable end game for me. But I do misplay it immediately. I actually kind of forgot that they got quad debuffs, so I come to him on top. And what I should have done was I should have farmed this down, because I can easily survive 2 Zap Cannons. For some reason in my mind, I'm like, oh, they undercharged, and that's why it didn't do as much. But I should have farmed down and then close combated the close combat bait, and then stone edged. But they might have also caught there too, so it's hard to say. I ended up getting the EQ. But this is a very tricky end game, but it was a winnable end game. It was a winnable end game, especially after I landed that EQ. That was really huge for me. I am gonna CMP tie with the Icicle Spear, which would be enough. What I should have done is I should have thrown at 4, and if they shield, I switch and catch. But I am just strictly catching, which is a mistake on my side, because I lose CMP. I don't have any shields left. And I need to get to double close combat, but I'm not going to get there. So, and they end up, yeah, it was a winnable end game for me. Still tricky, but it was definitely winnable. If I throw at 4, they no shield, then I throw the Icicle Spear, and then I switch and Stone Edge them. Or I farm down the Reggie, and then close combat. If they no shield, I switch. And if they, yeah. Anyways, it was a winnable game. I tried to catch, and I do actually end up catching. And they end up staying. I don't want to get baited, because this is a very good bait opportunity. I know I survive. And I throw the Earthquake, but maybe it was better if I throw double Icicle Spear. I end up shielding this. Ends up being a Drapion. I do bait. And then I switch, and thankfully they caught the move onto Pidgeot. It ended up being a Stone Edge, and now I'm not going to shield him on top, anyways, right? So, because I'll just Feather Dance this Drapion into Oblivion, and I throw the close combat, because I know they have some energy. Unfortunately, they lag there. I believe they actually end up no shielding, because I am debuffed, and I throw another close combat at them. And I'm in a very good spot, up a shield, and Drapion is super low. There's really very few things that Drapion could be at that health. I don't think actually anything. Maybe like a Phantom, like a 500 HP Phantom, maybe. Even if I catch, I probably wouldn't be able to beat it, but I'm going to speed up a little bit here. And this is very tough, because, again, when you see a flyer in the lead, it's likely going to be Steel in the back. This opponent misplayed, in my opinion. Maybe they lost track of whether I baited or I went for it. I can't remember. I ended up going for the Earthquake. Not the best timing on my side, but I need to make sure I got this up before they took me out. And they don't commit to the farm down. Yeah, they don't commit to the farm down. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe they thought I was going to land the Icicle Spear and then farm it down. I know they don't have a move, so I'm going to do 1 and throw. And then I'm going to switch, and then they end up going to Pidgeot. And just trying to call the move, and they end up Brave Birding. And I'm worried that they're going to try to catch. So thankfully it's a Swampert in the back. It's both good and bad for me. I do throw the Brave Bird. And I contemplated baiting here or going for it. I ended up just deciding to go for it. But honestly, the safer play was probably to bait. Because if they no shield, I could probably farm them down. With him on top, it would probably require me to call a bait. But pretty good chance I could farm down there. And do pick up a fantastic lead. Him on top into Obstagoon. I was very slow to the switch. And I honestly just miscounted here. I knew what the counts they were at. And I go up to the EQ because I know the Icicle Spear doesn't KO, but I should just throw the next Icicle Spear before they get to the potential Earth Power. I shield this, knowing this potential Earth Power. I don't want to get this match flipped. And it's like, but that's fine. I end up farming down, and I should have went to the EQ because I would have made it because I actually ended up surviving this counter. And this would have it would have put them like at 30%, like 40% or something like that. But they ended up having Trev in the back, so I just strictly RPS them, which is rock paper scissors, like just hard counter city. And then we have him on top into a Alolan Ninetales. They end up trying to catch, and I throw the close combat. I'm just gonna throw both. I guess if I would have landed one, I probably would have banked the energy and then just farmed down with Pidgeot. They end up shielding both. I come to Pidgeot. Not a particularly great situation. I was really hoping the Pidgeot would survive the second Hydro, but it definitely will not. And I farm up, throw right before they make it to the move. In my opinion, they should farm up, but they throw right away, which is perfectly fine for me. And I go into Walrein. They instant swap into Skuntank. And obviously, I would just EQ them at that point in time and take them out or catch on him on top or something. But anyways, the game was over at this point in time. So overall, pretty happy with this. Is him on top a great Pokemon? Would I recommend investing it? Absolutely not. But was this a fun team? I think so. So I had some fun here. Always looking forward to a good challenge. Anyways, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.